Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. I'm out here in the front yard of the art room looking for my lost parrot. Has anybody seen it? There it is up there. Let's get back to the art room so we can start making our parrot. Okay, welcome back to the art room for our episode about our bird on a perch here. I just love this. It's a great art show piece that we always did, I guess about 3rd grade or maybe 4th grade, and nice tail too there. To get started, we'll pick a piece of 9x12 construction paper or any kind of paper. It wouldn't have to be blue. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half the thin way. Okay, put a nice crease on it. Then I'm going to grab a marker here and I'm going to sketch out a sort of a shape that looks like a kind of a peanut almost. And this is going to be our bird's body. So we need 2 sides for our bird because he's 3-dimensional. And so now I'm going to get my scissors and cut this shape out. Okay. Very good. All right. That's great. So I'm going to lay the one that's got the mark on it behind so the marks don't show. All right. And now it's time for my feathers. If you still have a feather bag left over, we've been using lots of feathers, and some of our old projects have feathers. It's always a good thing to have around the art room. So I'm going to take a couple of these feathers and tape them to the top of the bird's head here, and so you'll see why we need to do that in a second. And then I'm going to grab my Elmer's glue bottle and go around the edge and follow the edge with a nice little bead of Elmer's glue and right over those feathers too. Okay. And you'll notice though when I get here to the bottom, then I'm going to leave a empty space there. That empty space is going to let us get into the bird and stuff him all full later on. We're going to need to do that. So I'm just going to rub this glue around with my fingertip. Okay. Get it all spread out. All right. And I'm going to take the other piece, the other side, and stick that right on top. And there we go. Okay, so with a piece of white paper, I'm going to just fold that in half. And what I'm going to do with my scissors is cut out a circle, and that circle is going to be kind of the part of our eye that we use. And I'm going to put some Elmer's glue on that as well and get that stuck onto that side. And let's get some glue on the other side and stick that on the other side. Okay, very good. And next, my black paper. I'm going to take some black paper and fold that in half just so I can make 2 copies. That's what I'm trying to do, is make 2 copies of everything. Nice little black circle. And I'm going to make a beak out of this, and I'll show you what I did with the beak. I cut a little hole out of that beak there, the little round part, and that makes kind of a nice little beak expression, don't you think? Unless you just want to do it a different way. I think some of the kids in the art room always did want to make their own beak, and rub that around. And okay, and let's get that stuck down too. And don't forget the other side, and I'll rub that around with my fingertip too and stick that down. Okay, very good. All right, next I'm going to get a little eye color. So I've got green here, and I'm going to fold that in half, and here I go again with making a little circle out of the green. Okay, and I'm going to stick that green eye onto the white background that we have on our bird, and don't forget the other side. Okay, good. Stick that down. I'm going to use a little marker here to kind of color in a pupil. Okay, in there, and then yeah, very good. Okay, with our blue, then I'm going to use that as fold that in half. That was a 9x12 sheet as well. I'm going to draw a nice big kind of a wing shape on that, and once I do that, then I'm going to be cutting out a nice big kind of a teardrop, I guess. And then I think I'll just put some cool slits in it this time too. I didn't do this with my first bird. Just kind of make some little slits in him like that. Okay, how you doing so far? Good? Okay. And our wings, of course, are going to go right on top of our bird body. But I think I'm going to take a pencil here and make a little notation kind of around there so I don't get glue all over the bird and all over the table and everything. I know right where to put my glue. And I'm just kind of putting some glue down there, and don't forget to rub that around with your finger. Okay, and there we've got wing part number one. Flip him over, and let's do the same thing with that other wing. We'll match them up even, and I'm going to draw that little line around there again, of course, and with my glue bottle then get some glue on there and rub the glue around. Our parrot's going great so far, don't you think? All right. Okay, so this next part I'm gonna add a little detail to his eye, like kind of like a little feathery thing. Marker's running out of gas here. Oh well. And after I do that side, I'll flip it over and do the other side as well. Okay. Yeah, he's running out of gas for sure. Okay. All right. Well, now this next part, I'm going to roll up a piece of a paper towel, and this paper towel is going to go inside the body of our bird here. And what I'm trying to do is get that bird filled up with our paper towels, and oops, he's kind of bursting open a little bit. I probably should have let him dry a little bit longer, but hey, that's no big deal. Get him all stuffed full of that paper towel there, and yeah, and shove that up in there with a pencil so he looks nice and three-dimensional. I'm just going to cut off what's left there and tuck that in with my finger and add a little Elmer's glue to make sure that he stays put. I'll come back later. I'm just going to let him dry while we do something else here. So let's set him aside. Well, next, I'm going to take my coat hanger, and this coat hanger is kind of hard to bend if you're little and you can't quite do it. Ask one of the adults around, hopefully, your big brother or somebody. But what I'm doing is just taking it like this and rounding it out as much as I can. Hopefully you can find one of these metal coat hangers lying around in your house. If you can't, go over to Grandpa's house or Grandma's house. They might have one. And see if you can bend it around and turn it into a nice perch for our bird. And once I get it kind of round, I'll come down here to the hook part of the hanger and try to bend that out straight. And then I'll put my palm of my hand in here and force the whole thing kind of back the other direction until it gives me a place that my bird can sit onto. So Yeah, our bird will be sitting on that after a bit. That's going to be terrific. Okay, so that kind of sets him up for success. So this tail that I've got on my bird here, I'll show you what I did. Down in our wrapping paper area, I found some different wrapping paper like tissue. I'm just going to roll it all up here really good. And if I take my scissors, I can cut off some pieces there. And once I cut the pieces off, then I can unroll them and make this lovely kind of a tail that I can group together. And now I'm going to bring it up in my hands here and try to gather up all of the tissue and kind of bend it over so that I'm going to be able to take my stapler and I'm just going to staple that down and so that the tails don't come apart. And then I'm going to go grab my bird and find where his tail feathers hook on. And let's position that good. Okay, stapler again. And once again, if you don't have a stapler, you might have to use Elmer's glue for that part, but that'll still work. So our bird is looking great here. And I think one last thing I'm going to do is get a piece of black paper and make some feet. And you can see how I'm doing that. I cut out these little shapes that kind of look like a little ball with a little stick on the end, and I'm going to stick that on, and one on each side, of course, so our bird can kind of have the look that he's up on his perch. Okay, so the final thing to do then is to go back for our hanger, and I'm going to get that hanger again, and let's see if we can put the bird up on his perch. And he is looking good. He is looking good. All right, ready for display. Well, okay, that's going to wrap things up for today. Thanks so much for following along. And remember what we always say, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've got something to be proud of. You're an artist. Stick with it, and we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.